What's going on, everybody, over on YouTube? Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Stim Ace is here to try out one of the hottest protein bars that has been making a lot of waves over in the supplement industry in 2024 going into 2025. What I'm holding here in my hands is Greg Doucette's CICO bar. Now, in case you guys don't know what CICO stands for, it stands for calories in, calories out, which is kind of Greg Doucette's entire thing. Now, this here looks absolutely incredible. This is the cinnamon roll flavor. I think they do have a couple of other flavors, but this one was the only one available on the website. I did pick it up directly from HTLTSupps.com, and I also did pick up the Turkesterone. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but guys, I'm going to be trying this out right here live and giving you guys my feedback. But before that, we're going to go over the macros and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I think of this label before doing the taste test. So without further ado, let's roll that freaking intro and let's get to it. Alright guys, so in case you haven't been following the channel, you should know that Stim Ace is a big fan of all things protein, whether it's protein chips, protein bars, muffins, brownies. We're lucky that we live in a day and age where these products are super accessible. Some of them are a little bit pricey, but you get what you pay for, right? If you want something good, you gotta pay a little bit of extra. So luckily, a lot of these bodegas, a lot of these groceries, 7-Eleven, they're carrying a lot of protein snacks, which makes life a little bit easier. Sometimes I'm out on the road, I didn't meal prep the day before, work gets a little hectic, and I'm able to get myself a bar or two, right? So I've tried all the popular one, Robert Irvine's, Quest, Anabar, and pretty much everything in between. As a matter of fact, I did my top lists of 2024, which I do have an entire playlist for. I'm going to link it down below, put it in the comments, and you guys can check that out. I went over my top 5 protein bars of 2024 and then my top 5 protein powders, but there are a lot of good bars out there. A lot of them have good macros. I generally like to keep my macros anywhere from 200 to 250 and get at least 20 grams of protein. That for me is a meal. Usually it's going to have me full and it gets everything that it needs to get done. It's essentially a little meal replacement that I can have on the go. Maybe sometimes I'm rushing out of the house. I want a quick breakfast, something to eat with my morning cup of coffee. And this is exactly what these protein bars are made for. So this one here comes to us from our good friend Greg Doucette, the founder of HTLT Supps. And I had to grab this one, guys, because I heard a lot of good things about this one. And I love me some cinnamon. So cinnamon bun flavor, how can I say no to that? So we're going to go over these macros very quickly. I'm not going to dissect it because this isn't a pre-workout, guys. When it comes to pre-workouts, I will break down the entire label and tell you what I think. But we're not going to go over this thing, guys. This isn't a food review channel, but I will tell you the macros, essentially things that matter on this label here. And we're going to begin with the calories. So looking at the label here, you are getting 230 calories, which comes in exactly in the range that I'm comfortable with. Like I said, anywhere from 200 to 250 is my perfect sweet spot. It's not too much. I don't like getting protein bars that have over 250 calories. For me, it's not worth it. There are some bars that have like 300, 350, and they'll give you like 13 to 15 grams of protein. I mean, at that point, you're losing. There is no winning when it comes to that formula. So 230 calories is pretty good. One bar weighs in at 70 grams, pretty solid. You got 7 grams of fat, 3.5 of which is saturated fat, and 0 grams of trans fat. Okay, pretty solid. We're off to a good start. 5 milligrams of cholesterol, 95 milligrams of sodium, and 33 grams of carbs. So that's pretty good. Not too much carbs, but I do like to have a little bit of carbs with my bars. I don't like these low-carb bars. They just don't do it for me. I'm not into the ketogenic diet. I'm not into low-carb. Not for me, guys. I need my carbs. I need my energy in the morning to get going. You got 1 gram of dietary fiber in here, 12 grams of total sugar, which includes 5 grams of added sugar. So not too bad. As long as there's less than 10 grams of added sugar, I'm okay with it. It's not going to spike the insulin too much, and I like it. It's going to give it some good taste, but without really killing you when it comes to the macro department. And of course, the star of the show, 20 grams of protein, which I really like. 20 grams is solid, can't beat it. It's a great way to start the day. They also do list vitamin D here at 0 micrograms, which is interesting. I don't even know why they would list it, but you are getting 0 grams of vitamin D in here. Calcium at 133 milligrams, iron coming in at 0, and potassium at 211 milligrams. Okay, now looking at the ingredients here, we got some isomalto olgasaturate. I don't know how the hell to pronounce that. So some artificial syrup. We got whey protein isolate. We got peanut butter and a couple of extras in here: hydrogenated vegetable oils, dextrose, salt, molasses, non-fat dry milk, glycerol, a couple of other stuff. Okay, so when looking at the ingredients here, guys, if you are health conscious, this doesn't come off as the cleanest protein bar because there's a lot of additives in here. So this is definitely something more on the synthetic side, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you truly believe in the philosophy of calories in, calories out, then essentially what you're putting in the body doesn't matter as much as the actual macros. Now, I fall somewhere in between. I try to keep my diet clean 90% of the time, but this again is supposed to be a meal replacement, something you would have in the morning if you're rushing out of the house. Maybe you're driving all day like I do. I drive a lot for work, and I don't always have time to prepare a meal, right? A lot of times I just don't have the time to do it. So this here is a good option. And in theory, it should fill me up at least for a couple hours. I can have a cup of coffee with it to down it a little easier, get my stims in and get my protein in. So it doesn't get better than that. So overall, in terms of the macros on here, the label, it's very solid and I really like it. But what matters most when it comes to these bars, especially if you're ingesting all these additives in here, is the flavor. So without further ado, let's try this out and let me tell you what I think. All right, guys, so we got the box here. We're going to open it up. And as you could see, it comes in with 12. I already had 2 of these, so I know what to expect. But for the sake of keeping things entertaining, we're going to pretend like it's my first time having one of these. So this is what the wrapper looks like. It's got a pretty nice weight to it. It doesn't feel super light. Some of these protein bars feel very light and they're not really filling. I'm a big guy, by the way. I'm 6'4". So if I'm having a protein bar, I want it to fill me up. So we're going to open this up. Opens up pretty easily. Can't complain about that. And here it is in all of its glory. So it's got a little bit of a coating and it feels nice. It's not too sticky. We're going to take a bite and I'm going to tell you what I think. Cheers. It's really good. This is what the inside looks like. It's got a little bit of a crunchy texture, but also a little bit sticky. Actually, very well balanced. I don't like when protein bars are too sticky. The one issue I have with the Quest protein bars, which I think are good in terms of macros, is that they're very chewy and very sticky. So they can kind of get stuck in your teeth a little bit, and you really have to chew really hard to get it all down. And it kind of turns me off. They're great for macros, and I gave them a pretty high spot on my top list of 2024, but in terms of the consistency and the texture, I'm not a fan of those bars. This one here is really solid. You have the outside, the little sweetness coming in on the outside kind of tastes like the frosting on top of a cinnamon roll, right? And the inside tastes like the actual roll itself. It's really well formulated, it's well concocted. And I like the fact that I've been holding it already here for about a minute. And usually with these bars that have a coating, the outside can kind of melt a little bit and get stuck on your fingers. As you could see, nothing got stuck over here. So really good texture. I'm guessing all the hydrogenated oils and whatnot contributed to that, but I'm not complaining, guys. This isn't something I'm going to be eating regularly every single day. It's a protein bar. It's a meal replacement. You grab one of these when you're on the go, you get in your calories, you get in a little bit of carbs for energy, you get your protein, and you're good to go. You move on with your life. It tastes really freaking good, though. I really like it. The taste and the texture reminds me a little bit of Anabar, which is a very tasty bar, but I wouldn't call that one a protein bar. That is essentially a candy bar with a little bit of protein sprinkled in. No hate against the creators of Anabar. I don't even know who created that bar, but that is really a candy bar with a little bit of protein sprinkled in. No hate, just speaking the truth as I always do. This thing here doesn't taste like your typical protein bar. It doesn't have that nasty way aftertaste. It really does taste like a delicious kind of candy bar, but the macros are good. Some may say that 230 calories is a little bit high. Maybe it is. There are some bars that come in at 180 that will still provide you with 18 to 20 grams of protein. So this one here is definitely a little bit of a treat, but it tastes good. It gets the job done. It's very filling, by the way, because I had this for breakfast this morning with a cup of coffee, and I was good for like 4.5, 5 hours until lunch. So it's filling. It gets the job done. I like the 33 grams of carbs, gives you that instant energy. 20 grams of protein keeps you satiated. Not a lot of fat, not a lot of added sugar. What else can you say, guys? It's a solid product. So as far as this one goes, Stim Ace gives it the thumbs up. It gets the Stim Ace seal of approval. If you guys want to pick up a full container of the Greg Doucette CICO bars or anything else offered at Harder Than Last Time supplements, you can head over to www.htltsupps.com and use my discount code ACE. That will save you 15% off your entire order and help support this channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed this brief review. It's a very solid protein bar, and honestly, it exceeded all expectations. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Stim Ace. Like the video if you found it beneficial. Comment down below. Tell me if you've ever tried this bar before, and if you have, what is your favorite flavor? I will see you guys next time for the next High Stim pre-workout review. Take care, everybody. Stim Ace signing out.